Accessing.
When TV and radio collide.
Love it.
Wow. This is what you get. You're listening to JJ and Alex.
Don't touch that dial.
On 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
All right, everybody, welcome back. JJ and Alex, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Second hour of the program. Thanks for being with us. We're at the RV show here at the Mountain America Expo Center in Sandy. So you can come down, get some great deals, shop, compare. That's what it's here for, right? Just come down and the big thing is, JJ, when people come in and they go, man, I'm looking for something. And these dealerships are like, look, we got some 24s. We have some 25s we want to get rid of. We have like two 24s. Please take them off our hands. They give you crazy deals, man. So come down, check it out, and drool over it just like we have been. Joining us on the program right now, RightsForNBA.com, of course, covering the Utah Jazz. Eric Spyropoulos joining us on the program. Eric, what's going on, man? And now Eric Spyropoulos going to join us on the program. Eric, you there with us?
Yeah, second time's the charm.
Hey, yeah, I was going to say, as soon as we get we're not there in studio. It's always hard because we're already doing this thing over the ether anyway. So,
yeah. Hey,
how about this win streak for the Utah Jazz? I'm sure it's what a great game to be watching last night. I was tuned in and I was going. JJ and I had a little bit of a friendly back and forth about where Triple J was going to hit with his home opener. I took the over on 26.5. He took the under smartly because, man, he had that underlying knee issue, and now the Utah Jazz have shut it down for the season. When did we find out about this, and what were kind of the full details of what they said about the Triple J injury?
Yeah, I mean, it was something that they had kind of discovered, I think, post-trade with a physical, and it's kind of this growth in and around his knee that essentially you have to address at a certain point. Otherwise, it can kind of build up and become really damaging. And obviously, he's just 26. I know he's been in the league for 8 years, which is kind of hard to believe, but still 26. You kind of want to obviously make sure that he can be super productive and healthy. And, they're going to have the procedure during the All-Star break and then kind of reevaluate from there and hope he makes the full recovery, obviously, in time to kind of lead into next season. But I don't think it's anything that's like super concerning at the moment, but something that they kind of discovered and realized that this would be a good time to address it for his long-term health.
Well, we did get to see him in a Jazz uniform for 3 games, one in front of a home crowd at the Delta Center, and I'm sure that was great for him to get that experience. What did we learn about the Jazz with Jaren Jackson Jr. in the lineup in those 3 games?
I think the biggest thing we learned is that there's a lot of potential on the defensive end. Obviously, this isn't even the full kind of group that I think Austin Ainge and the front office and coaching staff are envisioning for next year with someone like Walker Kessler coming back. And obviously Keontae George went down pretty early in that Orlando game with the sprained ankle. So we haven't seen the full team, but even with Jaren playing next to Lauri Markkanen, playing next to Yusuf Nurkic, guys like Cody Williams, Ace Bailey, even some of the other newcomers like a Vince Williams Jr., the Jazz have had probably 3 of their best defensive efforts of the entire season in those 3 games with Jaren. They basically just shut off the paint. They don't allow teams to score inside the paint with Jaren on the floor, and even without off the floor, they still have a lot of size. And on the offensive end, you see a guy who can not only kind of space the floor, kind of play within the flow of the offense, but he can get a bucket on his own, which I think the Jazz offense had kind of been missing over the past few years. And so when you add that element of a guy who can score in the post on a drive one-on-one situation, you add another wrinkle to a Jazz offense, which at times this year has already been really powerful. So we saw a lot of good glimpses, I think, even though it's obviously only been 3 games, but you're kind of projecting forward based on what we saw in these 3 games, and I think you have to feel really good about it.
We were kind of having these discussions over the last few days about, it's a bummer because you have all these names, all these guys who are making inroads, and obviously and maybe just as big of the acquisition of Triple J was the presence of Keontae George and like the arrival of what he's become, which is not just a pretty darn good player, but people are talking about this guy going, man, if they would have if you redo that draft class, he's maybe the number 2 in that one, and you go, that's a win, for this group. But this trade doesn't look nearly as good and maybe even doesn't happen if you don't have that type of development. How much of a big deal has it been to be able to reimagine this team, not just from that defensive level, because it's been historically bad defensively, of course, over the past couple of years, but now that feeling of a reset does feel like it's more there. And how is the front office now dealing with all of that? I would imagine they'd be pretty excited about what the future looks like.
Yeah, I think you have to be feeling really good. Obviously, with it's all kind of. I think the jumping point last year is landing Ace Bailey in the draft, and a guy that people have been really high on, has a lot of talent, has fit in really well this season, I think, on both ends of the floor. And he even just got named to the Rising Stars game today as a injury replacement for Cooper Flagg. So the Jazz will be represented at All-Star Weekend. But Keontae's rise is, probably the story of the season because, like you said, I think it does give more confidence to the front office to go out and make a move for a guy like Jaren Jackson Jr. when you think you have that kind of perimeter lead ball handler, dynamic scoring guard locked down at a guy who could be, at an all-star level in the years to come for Keontae. And then obviously you've already got Lauri Markkanen. We had seen what Walker Kessler could do last year and even in the first few games of this season and how he had grown, Ace Bailey. And then you had a couple other, young flyers off the bench, Isaiah Collier, Bryce Sensabaugh, Kyle Filipowski, Cody Williams. And so all of a sudden you're looking at a team where you think you're going to have good depth. You think you got a few high-end pieces already. Now you can go and make a move for a guy like Jaren Jackson Jr. and bring him into the mix to kind of add to that defensive side of the ball. I think that all of those pieces, led by Keontae's rise, are what led to this move for Jaren Jackson Jr.
And there's just so much hope and excitement about this. And it's interesting in the last couple games because they weren't playing Jaren Jackson Jr. and Lauri Markkanen in the third quarter, and a lot of people pan this that follow that follow the league. They're like, oh, they're not really serious. They just did that to tank, and they're not really serious about developing those young players. But the fact that they gave those young players a chance to play meaningful minutes in a game against a team as good as the Miami Heat and win that game and finish well. What does it say about the development of those young guys that were in at that time? Isaiah Collier, Kyle Filipowski, and Bryce Sensabaugh. These players are really coming into their own, and they're starting to benefit from the amount of minutes that they've been able to play because of this rebuild.
Yeah, I think it speaks to the organization's focus and dedication from overall sense on player development over the past few years. Obviously, last year, most of those guys got a lot of playing time and made a lot of strides. This year, they've been getting some more playing time, but they've also had some vets to kind of compete with in the locker room, including, to the two of the newcomers, Vince Williams Jr. and John Conchar from the Grizzlies. Will Hardy talked last night actually about how, the young players can learn from those vets, and then the young players can also help the vets kind of get comfortable in the Jazz system. These are prime fourth quarter opportunities, especially on the road too, in more of a difficult environment, to get against teams that are trying to compete for the playoffs. And down the road, when the Jazz are competing, they're going to want those young players to be ready for those moments because they expect to have a lot of games like that they're going to try and win to make the playoffs in the really tough Western Conference. And so sometimes you see small glimpses. Sometimes you see a guy like Isaiah Collier have 22 assists in a game and the next game scores career high in points. The flashes might be small, they might be big, but either way, they are growing opportunities for those young players.
Eric, you cover this team really closely, and it's always an awkward thing. Well, it's not something that we've had to deal with a ton in our market because this team has always been relatively successful, and, any talk of tank and all that stuff, I try to remove yourself a little bit from how close you are with the team, just from an overall view. What's the reality on when the Jazz take this criticism on how they're handling it and that it's somehow so much worse than what other teams are doing to create a spot for themselves within the rules of how this thing has been set up? It just is a team that hasn't taken advantage of those rules like so many others have. It just seems like the Jazz are taking a heavier hit on this thing.
Yeah, it is an interesting – I think the discourse around tanking in general has been really interesting to kind of follow over the past few years. Obviously, I think, it really blew up with the 76ers in the process, which is actually a decade ago at this point, which seems hard to believe. But it kind of died down. They made reforms to the lottery odds and they added the play-in tournament, and they kind of was hoping that teams would compete for that. But it is interesting, I think, that the Jazz specifically are getting kind of the most attention in this when there have obviously been a lot of teams in the past that are, not playing guys after they trade for them, shutting them down, limiting their minutes, et cetera. I think there is kind of, when you make a trade, I think that also brings naturally a lot of attention to your team, especially when you trade for an all-star like Jaren Jackson Jr. And so I think a lot of attention did shift to the Jazz basically over the past week or so, with the expectation of like seeing Jaren Jackson in a Jazz uniform, how's it going to fit, all these things. But you mentioned the dynamics, you mentioned the rules. The team is trying to balance kind of getting synergy with new players, but also developing young talent at the same time, and then trying to envision their path to becoming a playoff team once again. And that also a key part of that is, adding another piece in the draft this year, which people say can be a really, good draft at the top.
Could be a historic draft as far as the talent goes, and I've heard some say as good as the 2003 draft. That we'll have to let time tell on that one, but it tells you, Eric, the level of talent that is in this draft is unquestionable. I mean, the depth is phenomenal. And last year was a good draft, too, and one of those guys in that draft, the Jazz got Ace Bailey at number 5, and it's been interesting to watch his development. He's getting a lot more minutes now that he's been healthy. He played 40 minutes against the Pacers, 40 against the Hawks, 37 against the Heat. What is he doing in those minutes? What are you seeing right now from Ace Bailey that should have Jazz fans really excited about his future?
I think the thing that should have Jazz fans most excited is actually not his scoring. I think that is such a natural part of his game and will just will just grow naturally in the Jazz system as he develops strength, gets more comfortable, adds weight in the offseason. All those things. I think his scoring is so natural from all three levels, and his buy-in to the Jazz system. I think it's really the defense and the playmaking that you're seeing, and included in that is kind of his rebounding, which can be on both ends of the floor. But, I mean, he has been, last night he has 4 assists, and it's not just, these simple, okay, I'm making the extra pass. It's I might be running a pick and roll with a guy like Yusuf Nurkic or, finding Lauri Markkanen or Jaren Jackson off the screen. And he's willing to set screens. He's willing to rebound. He's willing to pass the ball. He's fitting into the system. So I think outside of his scoring, which I think everyone expected to see from him, it's the other parts of his game that have really kind of shown up, especially over the past month or so with this larger role. That, I think, is what should have Jazz fans most excited.
Jazz Blazers tonight, and it's going to be the last one here at home before the All-Star break, and I don't know what we're going to do with ourselves. For us, the Super Bowl is hit, football's over. Basketball now hits the break. Hockey is nowhere to be found currently. Eric, any
it's in
suggestions?
the Olympics.
I know, but it's not. Come on, man. Like, we got to get something. Everything's on a break right now.
We're starving. That's what you're saying. We're starving.
Yeah, I'm just wondering, Eric, do you end up going on a break somewhere, too? Are you going to end up going somewhere cool?
I don't know if it's cool to me because I'm from New York City, but I'm going back home for a few days just to get away and kind of disassociate for a little bit of a break.
Yeah. You go over there and just start talking about, I can't believe the Jazz are tanking. Can you believe this?
This is egregious.
Just get to that level again. Kind of get back in the center of the basketball universe there in New York. Eric Spyropoulos, he writes for the NBA.com, of course, to the Utah Jazz, and gives us all these insights all the time. We appreciate it, man. Thanks for being with us, and enjoy the break.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
There you go. Eric Spyropoulos, everybody. Good for him. Getting back.
Yeah. That's nice when you work a beat and you get a chance to take a break and go home and recharge the batteries. Good for him.
I mean, it's not the beach, but I hear the Hudson River is beautiful this time of year.
Well, I mean.
Remember when Kramer swam the Hudson River? Why does everything come back to a Seinfeld reference for you?
Everything does.
It's terrible.
Either that or Arrested Development. I think you should leave.
I think you should leave. We're very contemporary now.
We've got plenty of
all stuff that we have to avoid using cusses on. So we appreciate Alex Napolis keeping his hand near the dump button.
Yes.
We'll come back when we do return. I don't know if we're up against it with if Sam's going to be able to join us. Napolis, are we? Okay. All right. He's officially just talked to Team USA coming off the ice against their big win over Latvia. We'll get his thoughts on what that first game looked like for Team USA on the ice in Milan Cortina. We'll talk to Sam Farnsworth from KSL 5 Television next, right here, 97.5 EKSL Sports Zone.
Ladies and gentlemen, the biggest name.
You're locked in to JJ and Alex. With the insight and analysis on the teams you can't live without. This is 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
All right, everybody, welcome back. JJ and Alex, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Thanks for being with us on the show. Of course, KSL 5 Television is your exclusive home of the Winter Olympics here at 2026 and Milan Cortina. We'll get to Sam Farnsworth momentarily here, who is standing by in one of those very places or a totally different city. I don't know. He had to take a bus to like 14 different connections last time we chatted with him to get up to Lavinia or whatever it was. And so Sam's all over the place. But before we get to Sam, I want to remind you the KSL Sports Zone and Beehive Meals are honoring people that impact the youth sports in your communities. People who do an awesome job in the youth sports where you live. You know who those people are, and they're doing it without any fanfare, but we want to give them the fanfare. They deserve it. They're helping our kids out, and my heavens, we want to throw something their way. And Beehive Meals, the hero of the week, go to KSLSports.com/contests and nominate that person today, and they'll get themselves honored on our social media pages. JJ and I read off those winners every week, and then on top of it, we are able to also tell you that Beehive Meals is chipping in $250 to use at their place. So there you go. David Peterson is the winner of this week's Beehive Meals Hero of the Week Award, nominated by Lori. David has a lifelong passion for basketball. His own high school basketball coach recently passed away from a heart attack, which is deeply painful for him. David's coaching style and ethic came from this coach, who instilled in him the passion for helping youth build a strong foundation for success, not only in teamwork but individual worth. He believes in each player and works hard to teach them important fundamentals, both physically and mentally. 20-plus years of experience refereeing high school basketball. He's dependent on love and understanding for the game through his knowledge. He helps players develop their skills even deeper. David loves the youth and strives to help them learn and succeed through his incredible ability and talent. So congratulations to David Peterson for being our winner this week of the Hercules Hero of the Week Award. You get $250 to Beehive Meals. Thank you so much for all you've done for your community, and we ask you to nominate others as well at KSLSports.com/contests. Joining us right now, live from the Winter Olympics in Italy, he is Sam Farnsworth. Sam, Team USA pulled it off, man, a 5-1 win over Latvia. It's a good start to this tournament, right?
Not too shabby at all, guys. I think at this point of my Olympic coverage, you can say joining us alive from Italy instead of live.
Good. Glad you're still with us, Sam.
My favorite part is that JJ can totally relate. Like, you guys have had to do that grind.
Oh, it's hard.
And then other people go, oh, yeah, it's real hard for you to go to the Olympics, bro.
When?
I'm telling you. Like, the amount of 18, 20, 22-hour days that you guys do, it's phenomenal. So, alive from Italy, Sam Farnsworth, Team USA gets a nice one in the books. How did the team in red, white, and blue look on their first game, man?
Not too bad. So that first period, I don't know how much you guys watched of the game, but that first period kind of, it seemed like there was a little bit of some sluggishness to it a little bit, but they also I felt like they got robbed of a couple of goals. Or they had 2 goals that were turned back, after review. And so it was 1-1 after the first period, and it just kind of felt like, man, they sleepwalking through this or what? What's going on? But then the second period, they turned it up a notch. You're like, okay, here's this team that we've been talking about. Here's this team that everyone's excited about seeing. And they turned it on from there, and, of course, they end up with that 5-1 win, pretty convincing. I think we're talking about Milan, Italy. I don't know how many people paid to come here and then bought tickets, but it felt like a home ice advantage for the U.S. At first, it didn't. There was a lot of Latvia chants, but I think that was every other country fans that were there combining to cheer against the U.S. But as soon as the U.S. got going, the USA chant started to ring out. The Freebird was playing like nonstop, right, over the PA, and the crowd was pretty loud.
That's awesome. Great start for the Americans. Did you have a chance to also watch the Canadians start?
I missed that. I did go over the box score and everything. They looked.
The only reason why I was going to ask you that is because I was hoping to talk about the contrast, because apparently they were just incredible as well.
From the get-go.
And we're coming into this tournament, Sam, and you know this. Like, it's Canada or USA. I know there's some other teams that feel they have a chance, but you talk to the experts, it feels like it's going to be USA versus Canada. What does the USA have to do to find an edge against a Canadian team that is just loaded and stacked and is off to such a great start today?
I mean, they're going to have to keep pace scoring-wise. That's just the way I see it, right? You're going to have to score goals.
Yeah.
And, you mentioned it. You just look at Canada's roster and how much talent they have and all the goal scorers they had. I mean, it started with a Macklin Celebrini goal today. And look, they got to a slow start, too. It didn't happen until the last minute, I think, of the first period where they finally scored, but the Macklin Celebrini scores, and then just, the break line was cut or whatever, and, Nathan McKinnon scores, and 5 different players score goals. And that's just the very tip of the Canadian iceberg there. I mean, they are so talented. And I think the best way you beat them, yes, you're going to have to get into a shootout with them, because I think the weakness, if there is one with Canada hockey this time around, might be the goaltending. And so that's where I think if the U.S. is going to hang with them when it comes time to it, and they do, if I remember right, they do face each other in a group play. I'm going to have to look at the schedule again, but I feel like they do face each other before it gets to knockout stages. I'll have to double check that. Don't quote me on it, or look it up, or do whatever. Get Alex on that, But
hey, Alex, go ahead and send a tweet out that Sam Farnsworth says they're going to be playing this one. It's fine.
Yeah, but I mean, I think that's what it's going to come down to. Is just you're going to have to score a lot of goals.
Obviously, people are watching. They were waiting for Team USA to take the ice. That was a big one, and the women's team, of course, looking like they're going to be the outright favorites going into the medal rounds of this tournament. Across the rest of the board, we saw that Chloe Kim got that silver today instead of defending that the 2 gold medals. I saw the first part of it, and then I left my house. I go, she's got this thing wrapped up. And then she lost it. I know that's disappointing for her to get the silver, but that's a historic woman on the mountain. And I saw Miles Garrett, her boyfriend, there. Are they engaged yet now, by the way? Are they I can't remember if they're engaged or not. And if not, he better do it on the mountain.
I am not the relationship expert.
Yeah, if not, it's what everybody else is doing. You gotta get engaged at the game. So,
right.
But Chloe Kim gets the silver. But Team USA starting to come up in the medal count, man.
Yeah, they are, and we talked about that a couple days ago after I survived my bus ride back to where I was going. But yeah, we talked about that, how the opportunity for them to start making a bit of a climb in the medal count was coming, and immediately that next day we saw 2 medals in women's moguls. You saw a medal, Ryan Cochran-Siegel in downhill. You see Chloe Kim grab another medal. The medals are starting to come, and they're going to keep coming. I mean, you see some of these events that are coming, some of these speed skating events. There's more moguls events. The duals moguls, I think the United States are going to do really well in that as well. I mean, the medal count will continue to climb. We'll see if they can hang with some of these other European powerhouses, but the U.S. is still gonna have a great showing when it's all said and done.
With so many Utahns in these games, we're following the local athletes, especially. Clayton Keller's one, although he was a scratch today. It's kind of a bummer. Hopefully he gets some ice time with Team USA. But what are some of the local athletes coming up that have something big coming up that we need to keep our eye on, so we're ready to watch when they do?
Well, I'll say this. I will touch on Clayton Keller really quickly here because he was the healthy scratch today, right? And didn't play. But I feel like, and this is just me based off of kind of a few things I've been told around here, but it feels like there's still going to be a little bit of experimenting with some of their lines. They've got a really good idea of what they want for the U.S., and I think you saw a lot of that tonight, or this afternoon, whatever time it is over there. But I think there's still going to be a little bit of experimentation with line play coming up where you might see Clayton Keller get on the ice and get a little more time. Plus, they play back-to-back nights. They play Saturday and Sunday coming up. And in a situation like that where you don't want to gas people, especially before you get into knockout play, that's an opportunity where some guys might get rest. And where Clayton, I really feel like he's going to get an opportunity to be on the ice for 15 to 20 minutes in one of those games. So I've kind of shifted my focus back here to hockey. And speaking of another local in the hockey, JJ Peterka was on the ice tonight with Germany. Got an assist on the go-ahead goal for Germany against Denmark. He's definitely one of the guys that the German team is super excited about. And they just, some of the guys that I talked to on that team, I talked to Leon Draisaitl about him, and he just spoke so highly of JJ. And then, Olli Maatta, he's not playing a ton right now with Finland. I think he only played 9 minutes in their game, and then Karel Vejmelka did not play for Czechia. Like I said, it was probably a good thing, right? It's probably a good thing he didn't play in a 5-0 loss. Yeah, they might have needed it. And so maybe now it's his turn. Maybe they hand it over to him these next couple of games, and he shows out. So, but I'm switching my gears to hockey now. We've got Hillary Knight, who resides in Salt Lake City now. She's going to be playing in the quarterfinals tomorrow for the United States women's team, who, as you mentioned a little bit earlier, JJ, they are just fantastic. They are so fun to watch. And so they're officially into their knockout stages now. And so I think it's, man, I know hockey the Olympics get people excited about some of the most unusual sports that you'd never watch, like curling or whatever, right? And we all suddenly put on the red, white, and blue and cheer. But hockey's got my heart here at the Olympic Games now.
Sam Farnsworth, KSL 5 Television. You've been working on a lot tonight. Obviously, I'll be able to see. I guess when it's 4 in the morning for you, we're going to be able to see some great coverage from Game 1 from Team USA. We're looking forward to the rest of the coverage, man. And you're doing an awesome job. I'm like following every tweet. I'm like seeing all the stuff that goes on. You're better. You're definitely better than Matt Gephardt. I mean, gosh.
I won't tell him you said that.
Oh, hey, listen. You got to. Yeah.
Hey, Sam, be careful, Sam. There's going to be an investigation.
Oh.
He's going to get to the bottom of this.
trying to get extra moments to talk about the Olympics.
Sam Farnsworth asked at Gephardt investigate.
Yeah, Sam Farnsworth, is he stealing extra airtime from the rest of us? I'll have the investigation tonight. Well, we appreciate it, man. Get some rest, hopefully, and we'll talk to you again next week, and hopefully you have a great weekend, man. Thanks for being with us.
Yeah, thanks a lot, guys. We'll see you again.
There you go. Sam Farnsworth. Yeah, like I said, cannot get somebody representing the U.S. and Utah better than Sam Farnsworth. I know the athletes are great. But, like, we need Sam to be that to be the outreach person. Because if somebody runs into Sam and goes, where are you from? Oh, Salt Lake City. Then they get into it, and then they go, I had preconceived notions on Salt Lake, and then I met a man named Sam Farnsworth. And let me tell you about him. His great-great-great-grandfather, Philo T. Farnsworth, invented the TV. I don't know if they're related. It's fine. Okay. We'll take a break. We'll come back. We have more around the corner. I've got a top 10 for you. You don't want to miss that, so stay right here. We're at the RV show here in Sandy at Mountain America Expo Center. Come down, get a great look at some of these RVs. Go take a look. I may be during the break here. We might jump into this Moab Juggernaut, which is basically the coolest vehicle you could have, the coolest RV you could have in the apocalypse. Okay? We'll leave it at that. Stay here, 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone.
Your home for the best coverage of the Jazz, Utes, and Cougars is right here on The Zone. This is JJ and Alex on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
All right, everybody. Welcome back. JJ and Alex, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Thanks for being with us on the program. We are at the RV show at Mountain America Expo Center here in Sandy. We're here a couple times a year. And I was saying, too, this is probably my 25th or so show. I'm no rookie to this stuff, JJ. You aren't either.
No, we've done a lot of these now.
We've done a lot of these, and we know what to expect. But I am still shocked every year when somebody comes in and goes, "Yeah, but look at this," and you go, "They've done it again. They've done something different, and it's cooler and it's better, and you can even get it for better deals. All those things." And so you can come down and check those out. And we'll be chatting with Brett from Paris RV in just 1 second here. Before we do, I was looking at this, JJ, and I was trying to understand, because I know that winter metals aren't our thing. However, the medal count looks like this. Well, I'm going to do this. It's going to be a top 10.
Okay.
Right? I'm going to make you go through, because it's always an eclectic mix of who's up on the medal count here as my internet starts to fart out a little bit. But okay, I've got in front of me the current top 10. It's early.
Okay.
It's early. But the current top 10 of medal earnings, and we're just going overall.
Okay.
Okay. I don't need, the golds are better. I know that they are.
Just overall medals.
Overall medals, if I can get this thing to come up. I have the first 5 in front of me. Gosh dang it. Internet. Hey, Brant, you call somebody at Google or wherever it is we get this. But
we don't have fiber yet here?
I don't know.
Still waiting.
Yeah, I mean, look. Okay. I've got it in front of me
All right.
now. Top 10. Annapolis, God bless you. You can help if you want. All right? I know the.
He's optional, huh?
While you guys
reached
are
that
talking
point
to
in the
Sam,
top
I looked
10.
at the list.
Oh, okay, you're out.
Oh, you
you
have
are
to be
out.
recused.
You can't. Yeah, you can't.
All right.
I appreciate you being honest about
I'm
that.
all solo here. Here we
Okay,
go.
so here we go. Top of the list here. On your mark, get set, go.
Italy,
Ding.
Norway,
Ding.
Sweden,
Ding.
China, United States,
Ding.
Finland,
Going through.
Germany,
Finland. Germany. Ding.
the Netherlands,
Ooh.
the Dutch,
Ding.
Great Britain, France.
Ding.
Okay, Canada.
Ooh.
No.
Can
Luxembourg.
you believe? Sorry.
Who else would there be?
There's a lot of other countries that are
Iceland.
participating.
Geez. Russia's not in it. They can't participate. Ukraine?
Okay.
I don't know.
Sorry.
Well, I've said the big ones.
I
What's
got you.
left?
There are other.
Who else
ones.
competes in the Winter Olympics?
There are others.
Okay. Japan.
Ding.
Okay. Korea. Okay.
Oh. So
Who'd
let me
I
see
miss?
here. No, you did well. You tell me what you did getting in. Norway number 1.
Of course.
Italy number 2.
Yeah.
U.S. number. Actually, in the medal count, it's tied between. So it's Norway. Sorry, Italy is number 1 overall in the count. Norway and the United States are tied at 14 total.
Okay.
Currently. Then we go down to one of the ones you missed, Austria.
Austria.
Yeah, it's
slipped through
sneaky.
the.
It's sneaky. They're 12
Slipped through
medals
there.
right now, but they're downhill.
They're on the Alps. That makes
they're
sense.
alpine.
Basically,
alpine
it's their
skiing.
home. The Dolomites, right across the border from the Dolomites.
Alpine ski. Yeah, this is almost a home course for them.
Yes.
Alpine skiing champs, obviously.
Yeah. Okay. So I missed that one.
Japan,
Yes.
then Germany,
Got Germany.
then Sweden,
Got Sweden.
Switzerland,
Got Switzerland.
the Netherlands,
Got the Netherlands.
France.
I picked the Dutch.
I think
I
the
just
only one
missed
you missed
Austria.
was Austria. Yeah,
That was a big miss, though.
Korea.
I shouldn't have missed that one.
Korea,
I did throw Korea out there. They've
in
hosted.
11th. They're in 11th. Yeah.
Okay, so Korea hosted the Winter Games 8 years
Yeah,
ago.
Canada. It's interesting because they're just outside.
That's crazy that Canada.
Just outside.
That's the one that shocks me. Canada not in the top 10 right now in medals.
Yeah, currently 6 medals for Canada.
Huh.
0 gold, which
Wow.
is wild, right?
Yeah, it is.
I'm not gloating. I don't want you to think.
I almost
Our
said
friends to the
Greenland.
north.
Our friends in Greenland.
I almost said Greenland.
There's only so many countries that are really
I think that Greenland
really good at
competes.
the Winter
Don't they
Games.
compete for us now?
Morocco.
I think
Just
that
Greenland.
I think that Greenland actually competes for if there are winter sports athletes in Greenland.
Great speed skaters in Greenland. They need to compete for us.
I think they're Danish technically. I don't know.
It's in our best
I don't know.
interest.
I know it's a country. I mean, I know it's out there. It's on the map. It's giant on the map.
It is.
It's overrepresented
Massive.
on land size, but there you go. Stay here, 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone.